All around, the armies had surrounded them. The end of Ujjain seemed certain. Then, a poor child did something that changed the entire course of the war. That child, whom no one knew at that time, but in the future, in that very house, God Himself would be born, and the world would remember Him for ages to come. This is about Ujjain, the city of Mahakal, where Shiva resides in every stone, where devotion fills every breath of air. Here ruled King Chandrasen, a devotee of Shiva whose devotion was known throughout the kingdom. One day, his friend Manibhadra, pleased, gifted him a divine costly gem which shone brighter than the sun, and that became his problem. When neighboring kings heard about the brilliance of that gem, their eyes filled with greed. Their hearts burned with jealousy, and where there is greed, war is never far. And one night, armies from all four directions began marching towards Ujjain. The earth trembled under the feet of elephants. The sound of war drums tore through the sky. Swords gleamed in the moonlight. There was silence in the king's court. The ministers were anxious. Fear filled the eyes of the commander, and everyone knew this battle could not be won. But King Chandrasen rose. He left the palace and went straight to the Mahakaleshwar temple. He sat on the ground, folded his hands, closed his eyes, and surrendered everything at the feet of Shiva. He asked for nothing. He sought no boon. He only said, "O Mahakal, as you wish." Outside, the enemies roared, and inside, a king bowed before the greatest power in the world. At that same moment, outside the temple, a poor widow was passing by holding her young son's hand. The child looked inside the temple and his feet stopped. A king, silk clothes, a crown on his head, jewels around his neck, but he did not look like a king. He looked like a devotee standing before the shivling, eyes closed, hands folded, completely surrendered. The child thought, if such a great king can bow, then who is the one before whom even a king bows? A thought settled in his heart. I want to worship too, right now. He ran, found a stone on the way, picked it up and went home, sat in a corner, placed the stone in front of him, closed his eyes and began a worship that even the gods were amazed to see. No flowers, no lamp, no ritual, no mantra, but the expression on that child's face could not be seen even on the face of the greatest priest. There was just a child and his pure heart. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Hours passed and the child was completely absorbed in Shiva. The mother returned home tired from the whole day. Her son was sitting before the stone, unaware of the world. She called him, but he did not respond. She thought he was just playing with the stone. She scolded him, picked it up and threw it away. The child saw his god flew through the air and fell on the ground. For a moment, everything stopped. And then the child broke down. He cried as if his entire world had shattered. Shivji, Shivji, Shivji. Crying and crying, his eyes closed and he fell unconscious on the ground. The mother panicked. She shook him, sprinkled water, called his name, but the child did not wake up. Her eyes filled with tears, her hands trembled, and on her lips was only one name, Mahakal. And in that unconscious state, a divine light appeared before the child. Mahakal himself manifested. That Shiva, the Lord of all three worlds, stood before a poor child. He said, "My child, your pure devotion has pleased me. You have called me with a true heart, and that is my greatest worship." When his eyes opened, where there was a hut, now stood a palace. The mother came out wearing beautiful clothes, shocked and amazed. The boy looked at his mother, folded his hands and said just one word, Jai Mahakal. The news spread like fire in Ujjain. The king, before whom the entire court bowed, now stood at the door of a poor child and bowed before his devotion. When this reached the enemy kings, in the city where Mahakal himself appears for a poor child's devotion, to wage war there is to invite death. They laid down their weapons without firing a single arrow. Ujjain was saved. Then a divine light appeared in the sky and Hanumanji manifested. All of Ujjain bowed. The king bowed. The people bowed. His voice echoed. Devotion to Shiva never goes in vain. This child will in the future be known as Nanda Baba, and one day in this very house Lord Shri Krishna will be born. Hearing this, everyone's eyes filled with tears. That day, not just Ujjain, the whole world learned. For true devotion, no wealth is needed, no rituals are needed, only a pure heart is needed. And Mahakal himself comes walking to such a devotee. Jai Mahakal.